Hey, so it's day 3 with this car. I'm taking this car to a new acquaintance that I've made on the Renless forums. He has got a Durametric diagnostics tool that I'll be buying eventually for Yogi's garage. But right now, I'm gonna take advantage of it and meet some new fellow Porsche owners in the area. So I'm gonna go out on a road trip. Wish me luck, here we go.
Hey, so I made it. It was a great ride. Suspension's trash, but engine was great. I'm here with Bruce, who I met from the Renless forums, and he's gonna run a Durametrics on Pepper here and see what the deal is with the engine. So let's take a look.
So, first thing usually people are interested in, unless they got a PPI, is how many over-revs has it had. If it's Tiptronic, then you're not gonna have any. This one, you have 3 over-revs. The last one was at, and that's three ignitions.
Okay.
So, not a lot. But range 1 is where you've hit the rev limiter, okay? So you've got 10,000. You got a lot right there. The last time was at 4,156 hours on the engine. You've had 3 over-rev ignitions at 3,709 hours on the engine. You've now got 4,199. Basically, what most people go by, at least on Renlist and all, is if you've got an over-rev in the range 2 region within the last 50 hours, you have a potential issue that could come up. And so most people won't buy a car if it's got the over-revs within the last 50 hours.
And this one has 3.
Well, you've got 3, but it was 500 hours ago.
All right,
so you've got the over-revs, but they're long enough that you shouldn't have to worry about.
Okay, so help me understand what over-revs mean. I have an idea, but what's the technical?
Well, the engine is designed for a red line of 7,200 RPM, and you've got a rev limiter that prevents that. So your rev limiter, you've hit the rev limiter, or not you, somebody's hit the rev limiter, 10,990 ignitions, which is quite a bit actually. So somebody's been going off of the rev limiter.
Been gunning it.
Right, but not within the last 43 hours. So it's been a while, but somebody was driving it hard, either out on a track or even on the street. I mean, I've hit the rev limiter on mine. The range 2 is over-rev.
Okay.
Well, since the rev limiter prevents you from over-revving, the only way to do an over-rev is a missed shift. The 3 ignitions was probably a missed shift, very minor one, with it only being 3 ignitions. And like I said, it was 500 hours ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Apparently
almost
this car
500.
sat for almost a year after this last owner got it.
Of course, that's operating hours. So as it sat, it didn't accumulate any more operating hours.
This is true.
So it may not have been that owner, may have been a previous owner.
Right.
But somewhere along in there, somebody did miss a shift, is what it looks like. But it didn't over-rev much.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I wouldn't have worried about it. If a car like this was for sale and it only had 3 within the last 50 hours, I probably wouldn't worry as much about it than if you had 100 of them.
Right.
Then it over-revved and it stayed over-rev long enough. Then you have to worry about the chains stretching and then eventually breaking within 50 hours. You can also cause valve damage.
I gotcha.
But yours was so minimal and so long ago, obviously it didn't hurt it because it's driven another 500 hours.
I mean,
so that's what a lot of people want to see kind of at first.
Okay.
Your camshaft deviations are 1 and 2, and they're both positive. As long as they're under 6, according to Porsche, then they're within the correct range.
And they don't have to be the same number.
No, just they need to be under 6.
Under
6 degrees. Jake says they need to be under 4 degrees. So you're
okay.
Yeah,
I'm still
you're good by both.
I'm still good. Yeah, I like Jake, man. Jake's got some knowledge.
Okay, so your rough running on this under 1.0 is what you want, and all of yours are really low, barely anything. So engine's running good.
Good.
The fuel trims, you want it to be 1.05 and less.
1.04.
Yeah, 1.04. So you're real good there on your fuel trims. And of course, camshaft deviations are good. So everything looks good from what the Durametric can see.
Okay, excellent.
And
the deviations are fine. Fuel trims are good.
the rough running's good.
Rough running's good. So for someone like me who really likes to just get in there, how deep do you think I should go? Just take it out and get the tops, the cylinder heads maybe cleaned out. Obviously check the bore scoring, but I don't think I have bore scoring.
I would drop the sump even if you don't think you have bore scoring, because then you can check condition of the engine, because when the oil comes out, it doesn't get all the stuff that gets trapped in the sump.
Okay.
So there's a windage tray in there that helps keep some stuff in. And whenever I dropped the sump on mine, I found some plastic parts. I found some silicone from whenever the sump had been dropped before.
RTV stuff?
Yeah, the RTV. I found one tiny little piece of looked like a Variocam.
Okay.
Some of that plastic was in the pickup for the oil, and one little piece of what looked like RTV. So I was able to pick that out, and then I was just real careful whenever I resealed it. And I'm guessing that all of that had happened since 2013 when my car got the IMS solution, because part of that is doing the full qualification, which mine was done at Flat 6 Innovations.
Right.
So I know that they did the full, let's check everything out. So I know that none of that would have been there then. So it's like, all right, I've had a little bit of chain wear in the last,
since then.
well, whenever I did that, I was like, oh, in the last 4 years, before I bought the car, had a little bit of wear, and not, on the plastic, but it's just a good way to look.
Right.
See if there's any metal in there. Well, hopefully you find nothing, and hopefully it's a waste of your time.
I hope it is a waste of my time.
Yeah, and I still open up all of my oil filters. It's been a while since I've dropped my sump, and I've been thinking, well, maybe I should do it. But now that I'm in line for a Flat 6 Innovations build, I'm like, I'll just wait until they
Really?
rebuild
So
it.
you're going to take the engine out and ship it over? Or
I'm actually going to ship the car to them.
Oh, okay.
I used to race SCCA, so I haven't been on track since before my son was born, when I sold my Lola Sports 2000 and gave up racing, because he's like, all right, I'm a dad now, not gonna have time.
It's time to grow up.
But he's old enough now. It's like, why am I not
That's
out,
right.
out
What am
on
I
the track?
doing?
So yeah, I'd like to get back out on the track. I don't want to do any competitive racing, but autocross and track, I'd like to do that. So you've got stored codes with the immobilizer, which obviously
That's my fault.
Okay.
Actually,
I was about to say,
what I did is
it's
I
running,
reached into the window and opened it from the inside.
Okay.
And what was interesting is that the car just blinked the lights. It didn't honk or anything. It just blinked lights.
Okay,
and
so
then I
that
just
was
started
the
it
immobilizer,
up. That was
so
me.
it logged that. You also have a fault code EVAP system.
Major leak.
Yeah, which that could be a gas cap, could be the gasket on the gas cap. So
It's possible.
I would
gas
check
cap
those.
is awful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where is that thing? This thing is probably gonna not like that, but I mean, it's not bad, but it's just this whole inside thing is just nasty.
There you go. Here's another gas cap.
Thank you.
Try it.
Let's try that. Okay. That clicked way better. This one just kept clicking.
You got a lot of airbag warnings here.
Yeah, I found a loaf-size airbag under the car seat, and I thought it was to the airbag in the dashboard. There's one in there, so I got an extra one. I don't know why it said Boxster on it.
What's good is if you're looking for a used part and you're looking on eBay, look using Boxster for the ones that are the same. And a lot of times it's the exact same part that's significantly cheaper than when they're trying to sell it for 911.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, you've got
belt tensioner,
circuits, belt
tensioner's all messed up. I need a whole new belt tensioner. Ignition circuit passenger.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be.
Control module, internal fault.
Now you're getting supply voltage, so a lot of times, not necessarily on just the 911s or 996, whenever you see a supply voltage, that throws a lot of other errors. So that's from a battery being bad.
Okay.
And once you replace the battery, then you really need to clear all the codes, which we can do, and then you can see which ones come back.
Yeah, okay.
Air conditioning, let's see what it says is going on there. Outside recirculation. That almost sounds like the flap over here that's well known for the foam issues.
Okay.
And fresh air blower fault.
Get a picture of that.
So it might not just be Freon.
All right, so maybe I should start by addressing those two errors, and then if it's still not blowing cold, because it blows, it just doesn't blow cold. Maximum time.
And supply voltage. Again, that could be battery. That is why you have the supply voltage.
So do you think by clearing the codes that it would allow me to, I don't want to lower the top and then I'm stuck.
I kind of doubt that that would do it, but it's worth a try. I mean, it doesn't cost anything to try. So, you know, no error codes on the ABS.
Good. Oh my God.
I don't know what this alarm I-32 and I-64 are.
Central locking limit position, lock not reached. Well, okay, so I know that the locks from the key don't work, and the key has a battery in it.
Oh, okay.
But I can lock them from the keyhole and open and close it, and the wheel and the windows will go down and all that.
Now, I'm not sure.
Let me see if I get a picture of that before, so I can do my little Google search later. There we go. Okay, cool. So is there any type of customization that you can do to this car through the OBDII like you can with some of the newer models?
Very little.
That's what I thought.
I'll show you what the Durametric can do. Okay, this is just for turning on modules. That is nice. You know, I can start the AC compressor. I can turn on and off the fans, the fuel pump. You know, you can turn the cylinder injectors off. Yeah, you can do that. You can turn it off for testing, and then you'll hear that there's a misfire. So if you have a misfire, and you turn off that injector and it doesn't change, then you know that's it. If it gets worse, then you know, okay, that's not it. Yeah. So you can turn it on and off. So if you wanted to see, is it the injector causing the problem, then you can test like that. Cool. You can turn on and off the cruise control, whether you have cruise control installed or not. That's it.
That's it. That's it, huh?
But on a 997, you can turn on and off.
A 997.1 or a 0.2? Like the second gen 997?
I think it's the first gen 997.
Okay, all right, cool.
But it might be the gen 2. I don't remember. But anyways, I know on the 997 turbo, I turned off the spoilers, and there was all kinds of stuff. I was like, you want to do anything else? He's like, no. I was like, really? I mean, look through this. Just
I know, come on, I want to try it. So can you see anything on the wipers and why the wipers aren't working?
No, I didn't. I don't think that there's seat memory.
Nope, don't have that.
Oh, you don't have the seat memory. Okay.
This thing doesn't even, the electric motors work, but did you see the rust? It was an option from Porsche to get a rocking chair option. And so I think the original owner opted for the rocking chair option. Yeah. But even on the driver's side, the handrail to slide, or the handle to slide on the rails, it's completely seized up because it's rusted. Really? But from what I can tell, I hope the rusting is superficial, but this thing had been leaking apparently long enough to puddle for long periods of time. You can see I cut the damn carpet out. So let me ask you a question, Bruce. You've owned Porsches for a while. I paid $15,000, and like I said, it's what I call a COVID tax because it's a little bit more than what I would have paid pre-pandemic. Yeah. $15,000 for this car. Do you see $15,000 in this car?
Yeah, it's worth $15,000.
That's good.
I always avoid convertibles because I'm not a convertible guy.
I'm not either. But at that price, I'm like,
at that price, yeah, 15. You know, paying 15 for this and it not being a Tiptronic, you did good. Okay. Not that I don't like Tiptronics. Tiptronic, maybe it wouldn't have been worth that.
So what are you checking here with that?
This is checking the AOS. So the AOS, the air oil separator, it should be between 4 and 7 inches of water column. So you're running a little low. So what you really don't want is running really high. Okay. The 4 to 7 is a little off for us because we're at sea level, so we'll see actually below 4. So because of our sea level, that's a good reading. That's a good reading. That's a good reading. All right. So that just means that your air oil separator is working as designed. All right. When they go bad, they have a bad habit of oil getting sucked up and injected into the intake manifold, behind the throttle body, in enough volume that people have had engines hydro-locked and off of oil and bent rods.
Holy moly.
So that's why Skip has come up with a new design for the air oil separator that has one thing that it has is an accumulator so that the oil has a place to go instead of the engine. So
I've seen that. Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like a catch tank, but he's got a sensor in there that will warn you that you've got oil in there that you need to check to make sure that your air oil separator hasn't failed before you find out from hydrolock. Also, the air oil separator is way back up in here. So you have to lower the engine, you have to remove the throttle body, the front and rear plenum, and the intake manifold to get back up in there to replace it. This is the diaphragm. So I just have to pull out, pinch this, pull it out, I'm done.
You replace it.
Halfway done, and then go back in instead of the 6 hours to get to the diaphragm.
So you have a 3.8 here. Does that mean it's already been?
I've got the 3.6, same size as yours.
Yeah.
I've got the 3.8 airbox out of a 997. This is the one that Jake recommends for airbox.
Did you put this in, this LED light? Is that after?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I added that, and of course I've got the safety wire so I can unplug it. So if I want to leave it up, I don't have to worry about the light
Draining the battery.
draining the battery.
Yeah.
So that's why that has some safety wire on it.
I see you have a battery tender.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like what you did there.
Yeah, I modified it so that I can hide that underneath, and then I made it where I can retain the cap, and so I can just, cover it up, but I don't have to worry about running through the doors.
I like that. Yeah. And then this is, you yank it to cut power immediately.
Yeah. Rin line battery holders.
I love
that has the kill switch.
So smart. So talking about this battery, it's small.
Yeah, it's one of the small Odyssey batteries, for track. That's why I plug it in. So
Okay.
I plug it in every time whenever I get home because I've got the small battery. I've got a big battery over there, but this is where you can kill power.
Okay.
And since I do drive it on the street, this is what catches this to turn it off. I've got another one of these stops so I can disable that. So if anybody goes, oh, I'll just disconnect this battery,
Just screw them.
I've got it disabled.
Gotcha. That's smart. Now this here, I don't know what this is. Is this the amplifier?
Amplifier.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the Bose amplifier.
Gotcha. I think I'm missing this little plastic front, but the amplifier's there and the radio works, so that's good.
And then I took out the CD changer because it wasn't hooked up anymore. The previous owner had put in
That's the CD changer right there?
But this is an air pump. So
Oh, okay.
in that spot I put an air pump, and then this is some of the fix-a-flat.
So do you have a name for this car?
I've never named any of my cars,
Really?
but the previous owner called it Heather.
Heather.
So when
See Heather.
he likes or asks me to send pictures occasionally, and so he's seen the updates that I've done to it, and I call it Heather then. But no other time do I ever call it Heather. It's just
So all in, since you bought it in 2017, how much do you think you put into it after what you paid initially?
I've kept track of the MSRP of the parts that I've paid, and I've got a list which I try not to look at too often. Maintenance and repairs, the first year was $1,100, and then my second and third full years that I've owned it has been about $2,400 per year.
That's not bad. Oh, per year.
Per year.
Okay.
So I preemptively replaced the water pump and the thermostat.
I'll be doing that.
I do the oil changes. I spend more for the driven oil because of the additives. So it's about $135 per oil change.
Wow.
I have my operating expenses. Now, my mods, I don't really have accurate numbers. I do all my own work, so there's no labor involved except for the paint work. I let a body shop paint it, and because I didn't really want to deal with doing body work and trying to get things aligned like the deck lid, making sure it's shut and everything, I let them do that.
Okay.
So I have paid labor on that, and then the only other labor is having tires mounted. To go out and buy everything that I spent the first year would be $7,400. The second year, $5,400, and third year, $4,200. So, I got a real good deal on the wheels. They had been used 1,000 miles. The guy bought a GT3, sold off the wheels to someone else and he sold them for half price to the second owner, who left them in the box for a year or two, and then sold them to me for about half price. So I got them for about a fourth of what they would run from Tire Rack, and they had 1,000 miles on it. All parts, oh, it's only been used 1,000 miles, but those wheels, they'd only been used 1,000 miles, because I mean, they looked brand new. There was not a scratch. The only thing that you could tell that they had been used was they had wheel weights. Wheel weights were still clean, but you know, they were stuck on there.
Right.
So it was like, okay, yeah, they hadn't been used. So you know, that, I got the roll cage used. I've tried to use parts where I could.
So let me ask you the same kind of question around your upgrades. Are there any that you regret buying, that you wasted your money on?
I was looking at, you know, there's some things that I've done that I've liked better than others, but there's nothing that I'm going, oh, I shouldn't have done this. You know, I'm happy with the suspension. I'm happy with the interior mods. Okay, you know, pulling out the rear seats. I worried about, you know, should I do this or not? Well, I decided, you know, it's my car. I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to do what I like.
Makes
and
sense.
So everything that I've done, I've been happy with, or I've turned around and sold it.
Now, I did notice you put in LED bulbs. Did you do that all the way around?
I did the trunk or the frunk and the rear deck lid. Interior, I don't think that they're LEDs.
Okay. And those are you just slip them in, right? You don't have to get a new ballast or anything.
Right.
For
No,
them.
it's just.
Okay. See, again,
It's
another
just a bulb
example
replacement
of when engineers actually build not just the engines, but they actually think about the daily use of the vehicle. It's like, we got to make this easy. We shouldn't make it challenging to get in and change a freaking light bulb.
Most cars, it seems like they take a heater core and then they build a car around it. So they put it where there's just no way to get to it. Oh, well, all you have to do is remove the dash.
Right. Yeah.
Wait a minute, that's not easy. And the Porsche is really easy to get to the heater core. It's almost cheating that you can just, well, usually, you pull the battery and right up underneath it, disconnecting the couple of wires here.
Yeah.
And disconnecting the hose for the windshield washer. And there's, I think it's just 2 bolts that hold that cover on, that hold the heater core in. And you have to pull that to fix the vent where you have the foam issue.
Okay. So I'll be pulling that then.
So I've pulled the heater core out before. Normally, if you get to the heater core, you're like, if I ever get there, I'm replacing it, because that's not something you want to go back in and do. And this one's like, well, yeah, it'd take me 20 minutes to get to it, so why even worry about it?
Maybe I should replace the heater core on my A4 that I'm about to wrap up. I haven't put the engine in. I'm doing that tomorrow, and I haven't messed with the heater core. But
if you can get to it easily, yeah.
Yeah, because the engine's out and the transmission's out, so there's nothing in it. Yeah.
It's one of those, while you're in there.
While I'm in there.
But
I've got a whole video for that coming.
There's a lot of things that they did on this that make it a lot easier to work on than some cars.
Yeah. So I think I'm square. I'm gonna probably get home before it hopefully doesn't rain anymore. But my battery's about to die too. It was great meeting you.
Yeah, great meeting you.
And appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks again to Bruce, a.k.a. Texas Squirrel from Renlist, for helping me out with that diagnostics. He saved me quite a bit of money. If you have not visited Renlist, you should check them out. Renlist.com is the quintessential Porsche enthusiast website, so check them out. Now that Pepper here has a relatively clean bill of health, I'm ready and eager to move forward with the 996 restoration. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when those new videos drop. Also, be sure to check me out on Instagram. That's usually where I post all of my latest updates on my projects. Thanks for watching Yogi's Garage. We'll see you next time. Try to battle rap, snap, crack a pop, mind fried to a crisp, make an MC into a wide-eyed lunatic.